Alright guys, welcome. This week is our Evo decks. I think, like 13 days late because we didn't have enough decks, but randomly, the Shadowverse Discord server, link in the description, made like a post-result thing, and we had like influx of lists, and we have so many lists. We have a lot of Haven and Dragon, obviously, because that is the meta. So we're just gonna get right into it. I'm going to say at a point where we are going to hit the regional qualifier list. So we have like just local list and maybe lists that hit top 4 or top 8 in the regional qualifier, but they weren't like first, right? So I'm going to talk about those, and I'll tell you when we hit the list that are regional qualifier and regional ready. So this is just a regular list. I think Pinion Prayer is kind of mid with the list itself. Same with the Choirs of Prayer. I think that's also like a very card, because for 7 you get through amulets, but it doesn't like play the amulets, right? Like you get back your, I don't know, holy, what, the flame, the 4-cost flame amulet. That feels alright to me anyway, right? I guess Holy Sentinel, like what are the targets? Holy Sentinel, the flame, and then Pinion Prayer, or I guess you can get hair. I don't know. It just feels very to me. But I guess no, and he's only playing 1 Sentinel, right? I'd rather take out the choir and play double Sentinel, because that just feels better in my head, right? Because Crude Priestess basically does the same thing, right? So I don't know. This is another list. 3 death sentences is a lot. That is a lot of death sentences. I'm not high on death sentences. Ooh, the 1 Almirage technology. Interesting. I think death sentence is too slow. I think it's because when you play, it's delayed, right? So if the max value you can get is play it on 3, which is do nothing on 3. Yeah, do nothing on 3. Take whatever damage you have on board, so you did nothing on 3, and then use it on 4. Which I guess is alright, right? But I don't know. It feels bad. And only playing 1 Holy Sentinel, if 1 execution goes off, you're cooked. Your deck is cooked immediately. So I don't know. I feel like this deck it doesn't really know what it's doing. Because you're also playing Almirage, which means you're probably more aggressive, which I guess I could understand the Pinion Prayer. But then, like, why play Death Sentence? Because you're probably play slower, like in tempo. So this is just interesting. It did do well in local, so congratulations to you. This is another, I think, top 4 list, actually. I think this list is alright. I'm not big on Erd. I've never been big on Erd, because I feel like we're in execution meta, and why play Erd when you could just play another copy of execution for the mirror match, right? You play into the mirror, it just makes more sense. I know a lot of people say, like, Erd is an execution on body with a body, which I think it's alright, like, okay, but, like, I'd rather get rid of Holy Sentinel, right? Like, a lot of these lists we've seen so far, play 1 Holy Sentinel, and kill the Holy Sentinel with execution, and it's like, wow, man. My deck does not do a whole lot, so I would. I also would maybe cut down Decree as well, and maybe at most play 1 Death Sentence. That's my opinion on the list. Next, now we have regional qualifier lists. So these are people who qualify for regionals or did really well at the shop championship showdown. So these are, like, I think, really solid lists, or should be really solid lists. Anyway, I haven't looked at them. 2 Almirages, double execution. Yeah, this is what I like. This makes a lot of sense. 2 execution for the mirror. The Alkalax Light. Yeah, this looks like a pretty solid list. I don't think I would change anything. 1 Pinion Prayer, I guess in odds wise, what? You have 1, 3, 5 amulets? Okay, yeah. I think you should see it, or I guess 8, excuse me. 8 amulets, or 10 with hair. Yeah, so 1/4 of your deck is amulets, so that makes sense. And sometimes the 2 does come up, the 2 damage, and it's only 1 of. So you're not going to see it. I mean, unless you're in the mirror, then you will see it, right? But it won't come up enough where it's a brick. That's what I was scared of when everybody was playing. The other lists were playing at 3. You don't want to brick on it. This is a pretty solid list. I actually like this list a lot. There's nothing much I would add or change. I think this is a pretty solid list. Congratulations to you, dude. This is another regional qualifier list. I think this is a showdown list, actually. Championship showdown list. Pinion Prayers. I don't know how I feel about those. Hairs. Maxing on hairs as well. It's not a brick. I feel like hair is a brick. Because the hair doesn't do anything until Holy Sentinel comes out. You execution the Holy Sentinel. It's like, oh, Oh, I don't know. Because the max value you can get with hair is tap a 4/4 or lower, make the Holy Sentinel Tiger, trade into it, and you're tagged with 1 or higher. Right, that's the max value. So I don't know. I don't know if I would play 3 hairs. Unless you continuously want a board wipe. And only 1 dual flame. Oh, that's what it's called, dual flame. I can see it better now. I think I'd play 2 dual flames at bare minimum. 1 execution. Yeah, I don't mind the 1 execution, 3 alchemic light. I think 2/2's best. Or if you want to play 5 like the other guy did, you can. But I think 2/2's best. He also doesn't play the Ward Girl. Did this guy play the Ward Girl? Let me just go back and check. Yeah, he did. I think the Ward Girl's nuts. No, he does. I just don't see it on the thing. Oh, there she is. Yeah, I don't know. I think this list is very alright. I don't like triple Pinion Prayer. That's my take. This is another shop shop qualifier, first place as well. Ooh, the Yu Johns. That was pretty nice. 2 Decrees, 2 Holy Sentinels, 2 Almirage. I've been seeing more and more people play Almirage. And I thought Almirage was a very card. But I think more people are getting a lot of value out of it because you could... It's just 4 face damage. It's like a burst of 4. And I think since a lot of people aren't aware or ready for the Almirage, you can like sometimes games go longer. You could Almirage. If you have the Sacred Play on board already, you just remove it, draw 1, and then get a Holy Tiger and then go for 8 for game. I've seen that happen occasionally because games do go long with Haven, right? So I actually don't mind the Almirage. I'm starting to see it more and more. I think it's pretty good. And the 1-up Dark Offering, I don't mind that as well. It does come up, right? Now we're getting into Dragon. These are like some of the local scene dragons. No Aylas. I'm high on Aylas, bro. More ramp. At least I think 3 Oracle, 2 Aylas is a good split. So you have 5 cards of ramp, and you have like I think, if you see 4 cards, like 50% chance of opening it. 40, 45 chance of opening it, not including mulligan. So you want to see some form of ramp, and I think if you miss on the ramp, your deck kind of no real board clear. This guy is not scared of aggro whatsoever. Like, Conflag is a little too late for when people start rushing you, like the Abyss, the Swords, right? So no Dragon Wings. All right, list. I think it's all right. I do like the 1 Genesis because I think people brick when they play 2 Fafs. Yeah, okay. I think this is all right. I just would run Ayla, honestly. But all right, list. We have the U Fortes. That man got money. 1 Confag, Dragon Princess. I don't know how I feel about Dragon Princess as well. I feel like that card is, I guess it's a body on 2. But this guy's not playing Ayla as well, right? And I think that's the difference between a lot of the shop qualifier list and more of the local list. They don't run Ayla, and I think that probably is a determining factor, right? I think Ayla is just too good of a card set 1 anyway. 2 Lucifer. I actually like Cavalier. I think a lot of people should respect Cavalier. You can actually high rule like the shit out of your opponent with Cavalier sometimes and just cook them with just Cavalier alone. What else? It's another list. More Dragon Princesses. No Aylas. Yeah, see this Dreaded Dragon. I actually thought, I've just seen a lot of people play Dread Dragon at 1. Cut the Fafnir. 3 Fafnir is insane. And put it with Genesis. I've seen that. I think that's a fine as well. Personally, this is all like personal preference, right? Like, I'm just looking at these lists and critiquing it from what I've seen and what I've played against and what felt good into most matches, right? But if his local scene is more higher, like, I don't know, Haven, Dragon Mirror, I guess this is fine, right? You want to be able to win the Dragon Mirror and get more value. You can go wide with Dragon Princess into Dragon. Because it's harder for them to clear, right? Going wide. So I can see the list. 1 Execution, I might play 2. Because Haven's really strong and really prevalent in the meta. So I might play 2 of those, but I think the list is solid. Just run Ayla. Run Ayla. Run Ayla. This is also not a qualifier list. I think this list came 4th, actually. And it does run Ayla, so it came 4th in the regional qualifier. So it does run Ayla, and you can see like the value. It makes your deck a little bit more consistent. Lucifers. Yeah, 2 Lucifers, 2 Fenriers, 1 Genesis. I think this is a standard list. I think this is the most standard dragon list you could possibly get. I wouldn't change it at all. Maybe run Dragon Wings if you see more aggro, but you shouldn't be really scared of aggro. Not a lot of people are playing it, right? Ooh. Oh, this is second place regional qualifier. He did qualify with this list, which I thought was interesting. I'm going to zoom in. Still a little blurry. My apologies, but it's still a little blurry. But Dragon Ace. I think Dragon Ace is like, she's one of your followers and gets attack and maybe defense equal to that follower. So I think this is an interesting card. Interesting tech card. I don't know how good it is, because I haven't seen it before, but I think it's very interesting. I'm a fan of like interesting techs that in my head make sense, because you could go a little bit wider. Like you could play, in theory, a Genesis Dragon. Play this in your 2 next turn. Your 2 card has Genesis Dragon level stats, right? Or you could play Fafnir into this, and your 2 mana card has Fafnir stats. And that's 2 cards you have to deal with. If I remember the card well, it might read that it only gets attack, but if it gets attack and defense, this card is absolutely gross. Gross card. So I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan of interesting technology like that. This is a first place qualifier list. We're going to get to the first place qualifier list now. Dragon Emissary. I guess it's the form of search. Which I guess does come up. Because it's 1 mana, you could thread that card in pretty easily. So I guess this card equals another card, right? Like, it's just to go through your deck thinning, essentially. And you play enough high-cost cards that you should hit, right? You play 3, 5, 8, 9. So essentially 1/4 of your deck is it. And it's just a search tool, right? And as soon as you go through your deck enough and you see a lot of your lower curve cards, you can have a higher % chance of seeing the Shenlongs, the Wyvern Calves, the Fafnirs, and so on and so forth, right? But I don't mind it. I feel like you can easily curve this in, like, on 4, if you have to play Ayla on 4, because it feels a little awkward, because you aren't doing anything else but play Ayla. You could Ayla into Dragon Emissary and maybe hit something like a Shenlong next turn, right? So you can thread in easier cards, right? Right? That feels good. You can Dragon Warrior and use 3, and you go on Evo. You can Evo with Evo point, fit in Dragon Emissary. My bad, hit the mic. So I'm interested in this. I think this is interesting technology. I'm a fan of unique innovation. This is Flaming Glass Dragon list. And I think, honestly, this is underrated. Underrated list, honestly. I think Flaming Glass does work into this list pretty well. Or into the core of Dragon. And I also think it works into Haven. Because you're ramping, right? You could actually just play Flaming Glass for 7, hit them for 7, clear the board, right? So I do see that. I see the potential. 2/2/1 Glass, 2 Ayla. Still playing Ayla, which I really like. The Dragonute Skull I think is good because it's more searching for the pieces of Flaming Glass. So you could just play on 7 because you are ramping. I don't like Erd. I think Erd's... I'm not high on Erd. I need someone to convince me. I'm not Erd-pilled. I think Erd's just very... 1 Bell. Not enough aggro hate. Not enough aggro respect, to be honest. 1 Bell, 1 Dragon Wings. I don't think it's enough to respect aggro. But I don't know how the list works. I don't know what his local scene is. But he did qual, so congratulations to you, dude. Good qual. Another qualifying list. 2 Aylas. Whoa. Oh, okay. I didn't see the Oracle for a second. I was like, whoa, no Oracle? Wait. No, he does play the Oracle. Erds. Again, not a big fan of Erds. I don't mind Lucifer Dreaded Dragon Split. I don't mind that. I think maybe 3 Fafnir's too much. But I think this list is also not a bad list either. Francis do for qualling. I think I'd also maybe... I don't know. I'm looking at the list. I don't know what... I think I put Execution. I think there needs to be more Haven hate. But I guess if you knew his locals... That is always the caveat, right? If you know your locals well enough, you can build for your locals, right? And you'll be fine, right? If there's not enough Haven players, you could just run the Erd, and Erd is enough hate. This is another first place qualifier, regional qualifier list, and this guy's playing Fire Lizard. I have not seen a Fire Lizard before. This is the first time me seeing Fire Lizard in a list. I think it's interesting enough. I actually like the 3 Forte Evo. I think it. Even if I were talking about it, and we were saying that a lot of your Dragon Mirror matches go late, then you will end up seeing all 3 of your fortes. So it will come up. Or it can come up, and when it does come up and you have third Evo, it feels really good. It feels actually amazing to have it. So I do like the 3 Forte Evos. Double Execution, I also like a little bit of Haven Hate. Dragonlance for aggro. I'm just not sure what he took out to fit in. I guess he doesn't have Lucifer in the deck. To fit in the Fire Lizard. I guess no Lucifer is why he was able to fit the Fire Lizard in. Interesting. I don't know. I guess you could go Faf, Fire Lizard, and that clears like most things, right? On board. So I don't know. I'd have to see it. I'd have to see it. I need it. I'm not hating it, but I need to see it to believe it. You know. Another first place qualifier. A lot of these first place qualifier lists are Dragon lists because Dragon is the best deck in the format right now, right? Interesting list. This guy has no aggro hate. This guy does not respect aggro at all. 3 Sinistras. 3 Cav. I like Cavalier. I think Cavalier is a good card. I don't mind Max Cav. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why a lot of people aren't respecting aggro. Might be just because they're locals is like that, but I think you gotta respect some aggro because you run to like an Abyss, you're cooked. Run to a sword, a banner sword, you might be cooked. Not enough aggro respect IMO. Also no Aylas. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I like this list at all. But props to you as well for qualing, but I don't think I like the list. No Aylas I feel like is hard. No Aylas I feel like it's really hard to ramp consistently. So if you miss on your ramp and you're playing like a normal game against a sword deck, you're probably gonna lose that one, right? Same with Abyss. And even in the mirror, right? Because you have less ramp options or potential to hit the ramp, you will lose to a deck that, or another Dragon deck that hit the ramp earlier, even if you went first. So I don't know. I think the list is very eh. Get into Rune stuff. This is the only Rune list that is not a shop qualifier list. So for Rune, this is a D-shift list. I couldn't tell you. Like, I'm honest, I have not seen enough Rune. I've not seen enough Rune, and I play Dirt when I do play Rune myself. So I don't know what a good D-shift list looks like to critique it. But congratulations for getting first at your locals. But man, I couldn't tell you what a good D-shift deck looks like. Ooh, let me zoom out. Think. One more. 2 more. 1 more as well. Okay, so enough. This looks similar to my Dirt list, actually. I actually played 2 Merlins on my Dirt list. I didn't run Alchemic Lore. I think I actually like Alchemic Lore. For a little board hate. Because I think when I was playing, there's like some points where it just felt weird. Conjure Golem. I don't know what that does. I was playing my friend's this list, and I kind of like put cards together for it. I thought were good. I actually just stole Juno Enthusiast list, to be honest. Shout out to him. I'll put his link in the description as well. He's a solid player. Great player. Check out his channel. But I think Alchemic Lore actually might like it. Price of Magic is a good card. Rasmus. Yeah, I think this is pretty similar, except Alchemic Lore. And Conjure Golem. I think this list is fine. I don't see any glaring problems with the list. Right? Maybe 1 more Merlin. I think 2 Merlin is probably where you want to see it at. That's just my opinion. But this is another qualifying list. First place. First or second. Then go Walt. All these lists ahead are just qualified lists for the regionals. This is D-Shift? Yeah, this is D-Shift. I think D-Shift stinks. Or is like really bad. I think D-Shift is really bad because Haven is so rampant. And Haven just needs to hold up 8 mana on the turn you're going to D-Shift. Unless you have 3 Flame Destroyers, you're probably going to lose that game. I don't know what Spectral Wizard does, so maybe that kind of helps. I'm not sure. Same with the card beneath the Mage, the one that does 2. I don't know what that card is either. So it has interesting text. So maybe that helps the matchup. Maybe I'm not fully sure on the list. But I think Rune's like a very deck. Unless you're like a crazy pattern. I'm not a believer. I'm not a Rune believer yet. Someone has to Rune pill me as well. Same with Erd. Qualified list, another D-shift player. I was hoping to see more dirt lists, to be honest. I think dirt is honestly the superior rune list. If you play dirt right. I think dirt's harder to pilot. Is that right? I think dirt is harder to pilot. But I think it's just a better deck overall. Demonic Strike, Snipe, so early game hate. I respect the early game hate. I don't know if 3 barrages are the key. I don't know if 3 barrages are the key, but I respect the early game hate to get to your late game end. I guess it's easy free cheap spells to play, so you get to D-shift earlier. So that list could be interesting. I don't completely hate this list. The Penguins, the Merlins. I actually don't completely hate this list, because I think because he has so many low-cost spells, he could D-shift maybe really early. Like, he could actually like pull the D-shift off extremely early and then just roll. Maybe this is actually, yeah, I think this list might not be that bad. Like, honestly, I was just hating on D-shift, but I think this list is interesting enough for what he's trying to do. I think it's interesting. I'm gonna say that. Another qualified list. This is a dirt list. I think dirt lists are very standard, though. I don't know what technology you could really do to change up like dirt list and make it like a little more techy, right? Prismatic is a staple. Alchemist Workshop, Runic Guardian. I feel like all those cards. Don't know how I feel about Erd. Play Execution. He does play Execution. But I think play more Execution because Haven hate. Dragon hate. Like, you can blow up the Shenlong and then swing with your dudes, right? Is that 2 Junos? I think 3. I feel like every game I don't see Junos, it just feels so awful. And I guess you can brick on Junos, right? You could just like open a wall of Junos and you're like, wow, man, does my hand doesn't do anything? But when I see 2 Junos, I still play both Junos because one makes sentiment, the other one uses it, right? So I can get instant value out of it. So it's not terrible saying 2. I guess the third one's the brick, right? You see the third one, you're not playing the third, but I don't know. I don't really hate it. I don't hate it. I think this is fine. I think this list is fine. The Demonic Strike, because you could go Merlin Evo, Demonic Strike, Demonic Strike for 3, and then Merlin Evo for 3 again, so it's 6. Searchable as well. So yeah. This is D-shift? No. What is this? I'm confused. I don't know what this is. This is not dirt. Not D-shift. This is just. I think I've seen this list one other time. Actually, it's just to burn them, right? You Mithril Golem and burn them for their life, and then use a Storm card. It becomes like, I think, a 5/5 or a 4/4, and kill them. Which is unique. I've seen this happen once at my shop qualifiers, and because a lot of people are playing around D-shift because they just assume it's a D-shift deck, you can actually like really outvalue them and actually like mind game the living hell out of them. So this list is interesting. I don't know how good it is because I haven't played it myself, or I haven't really sat down and watched it be played enough to tell you how good it is. But it's all right. I think this is all right. Yeah, there's another one of the same type of list, right? No D-shift. Oh, I think we hit qualifiers over here, by the way. My bad. I forgot to mention when we hit shop qualifier list. That's my apologies. These are shop qualifier tier lists as well. First place. Or the first to second to qualify, right? That's what I meant. Bell ringers. Yeah, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you how good this list is. I need to play against someone who plays this list or see it more to determine my thoughts on the list. But I'm not going to hate on it until I know how good it is personally. So congratulations to you. This is a qualified list as well. The SL Erasmus. I think we saw this list as well last week, but this time he qualified. So show him some love. Once again, I think this is fine. Like, I think dirt is very standard. We're gonna get into forests. This is the only forest list? No, these are the only 2 forest lists that did qual. These are just locals, first place locals. Sylvan Justice, I think people sleep on. 1 Roach. I think you might want to play 2. I think double Robin Hood's a brick. I think you have to play triple Rose Queen, because if you don't see Rose Queen, you lose. Personally, it's my opinion. Double Rose Gardener is fine. Execution Okami. I feel like this list trying to do a lot. Because it's a lot of moving pieces. Oh, he also doesn't play Elf Child May. Elf Child May is sick. Yeah, no, I don't think this list is that good. Personally, glad to do all your locals. This is top 8 list. Didn't specify where, so I don't really know where it was for. It could be championship, it could be qualifiers. But I couldn't tell you. Fairy Circle. Water Fairy. Ooh, Ferris, but I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I think it's interesting. You can get actually decent value if you go Archer into Ferrisburg, and that's 2. Or if you Evo, you can get, like, I guess 3-4 damage total on units. It's not bad. I saw Ancient Elves, so that's pretty nice. Big fan of the Noble Fairy. I think Noble Fairy is really good. Okami, I feel like Okami is such an execution target bait, because if they don't deal with it, they lose. Because you can go Okami on 4, or Okami on 5 with something else, like something small, like a Fairy Circle. Or, I don't know, a Harvest Festival. And then play Arya, and your Okami is like 8-8, or I guess 9-9. They have to deal with. Like, immediately have to deal with. So, I'm not an Okami hater. I'm an Okami believer. I think it's hard. Because Okami is... If they have execution, your Okami does nothing. But if they don't, it's immense value. So, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it. Another qualifier list. Plus Fairy. I think... Also, I don't think these are actually the qualifier list. I think a qualifier list hits here. That's right there. Yep. So it's just locals. I don't know how I feel about Forestcraft in the meta as well. Because I think Forest isn't bad. It just takes a lot of skill to play it properly at a high level. So I don't know. I think Forest is alright in the meta. 1 Silverbolt, which is fine. Rose Queen, Arya. 2 Robin Hood. I think I'd play 1. Because it's a form of removal. It's an execution. Titania's at 2. I think it's fine as well. I honestly don't know how I feel about Blessed Fairy Dancer in the list. I think it's alright. I think Blessed Fairy Dancer only gets really good if you Arya or Fairy Circle the turn before. Right? Because, like, what are your targets? You have to hit Arya, Fairy Circle. I guess that's 9 targets. It's not that bad. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it's not that bad of a card. Not sure. Not entirely sure how I feel. But congratulations on getting first at your locals. This is an interesting list. This is a huge, like, very interesting list. I wish I knew the ratios because they're all, like, his deck is kind of stacked. But I think this is very unique because he's playing Flame and Glass, right? Flame and this is first place as well. This is where it begun. I made sure to make this where it begun because it was so interesting. I was like, wow, I haven't seen anything like it. Archer as well, 7 Justice. I wonder how it does. I haven't thought of putting, like, the only cores I thought Flame Glass could be viable in were Haven Dragon. But I guess because Forest wants to have a longer game as well, and he's playing like Sylvan Justin, Woodland Curse, Archer to control the board a little bit, you could guarantee yourself to go later, a higher % chance to go later into the game. So I think it could be okay. That's what I'm gonna say. I think it'd be okay. I'm not sure. This is a big question mark for me. Congrats to you, dude. Actually, good work. Another first place list. This is more standard. I feel like this is where I think I would, maybe not triple Robin Hood, but I think this is more where I'd put my list around. Something like this. I think this is like alright lists, or maybe not alright list. I think this is a pretty good list. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good list. I wouldn't change anything really. Like, if it works for you, works for you. I think it's like a difference in playstyle. Why I don't enjoy the list as much as he probably does. But I think this list is alright. I think this is pretty good. Now we're getting to Abyss, and I'm a big Abyss guy. This is what I qualified with. I don't like the ally cards, but I think everything else is fine. Like, I think you can get away with playing Righteous Devil. I've been doing a little testing with it. I don't think it's terrible. I think Executioner might be a little too slow if you're going aggro though. So I don't know how you want to do that. Same with the Spartoy. I think it is not the best aggro card you could play. I think you can like play Loth as well. But this is fine. I don't have too many complaints with this list. This is a regional qualifier list. Let me zoom in for you guys. You guys with the zoom. 2 execution, which I'm fine with. I don't know about the a la carte, but I think everything else is fine. And maybe executioner. I think executioner is a difference in what I enjoy compared to what everybody else enjoys. So I think the executioner is fine. I'm not gonna hate on the executioner, but I think a la carte is just too slow. Because in my head, you can play a la carte, right? But just play Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is literally a la carte for 7 and has the same stats. But you don't need Necromancer to charge, right? Like, it's literally a la carte. No difference. So I think if you want to play a la carte, just play Gilgamesh. That's my thinking anyway. But I guess a la carte heals you for 4 and does 4. But I don't think that'll come up too often. Honestly. If it does, my bad. I don't think it comes up that often. I think it's just an alright card. So that's where we started for. This is also a qualifier list. Excuse me. I forgot to mention. I keep forgetting to mention, but this is a qualifier list. So everything above this, or ahead of this, or after this, excuse me. That's what I'm looking for. Is also a qualifier list. 2 a la cards, Dark Generals. Man, I don't know. A la carte just seems very alright. I like the Wardrobe Raiders. Draw power, triple on the draw power is nice. The list is alright. I think two Goblin is also correct. I think a lot of people maxing Goblin. But Goblin does nothing after turn 1. You want to play turn 1 and then never again. Honestly. So I think 2's fine as well. This guy has the correct ratio for Goblin. I would play maybe more Phantom Howl. I think Phantom Howl is nuts. It's 4 damage for 3. And you want to kill him as fast as possible, so I think that's fine. Double Loath Mummy is also really good. I think just a la carte, honestly, is where I might pick a scrap what the list is, but I think it's fine. Sword. This is a local sword list. This is a banner list? No, this is a mid-range. Ooh. I think this is actually Kit's list, to be honest. I think he is using Kit's list. Yeah, I think this is actually word for word, bar for bar Kit's list. I don't see any changes. When I say Kit, I mean Kit from Burn 1. So I think this is solid. I don't think Kit's list was that bad, honestly. I wouldn't play Banner. I think Banner, like every time you play Banner on 4, unless you have 4 fronts already on the board, it feels bad. It feels real bad. But I think other than that, it's just a fine list. This is fine. Don't have too many gripes. Oop, let me zoom in. Let me do zoom. This is a shot qualifier list. Let me zoom out once. Yep. Swordsman is interesting. I know Swordsman come really good in set 2. But no, I didn't think people would play it set 1. Same with the Assail Knight card that has an Evo. Don't think people were going to play this. He's like, this is an aggro deck. Urd for removal to get rid of the ward, I guess. Which I guess makes sense. White General. This is a unique aggro list. I haven't seen anything like it, and I also know how I feel about it. Because Swordsman takes up a slot, right? And is this is probably 40 cards. I hope it's not over 40 cards. Why would you not play another Alwita's Command somewhere? I feel like Alwita's Command, when you hit Banner, it's like the best outcome, right? Like you get 4/3, 3/3, and a 2/2 for 5. It's pretty good stats. For Alvita's, right? So I don't know. I think this is very And that's how I feel about it. And then we're going to look at the last place in this guy qualifier original as well. I don't think that the knight right beside, what is it called, Fervid, is that good. But I've seen a lot more people play it. but I don't know how I feel about it. So I don't know if it's bad or good yet. I have no comment on it, but I think it's alright card. Demon Strike, Path of Purgatory. Bad. Yeah, this is just your average aggro deck. Don't think it's too crazy. I don't think there's a lot of new innovation you can do with aggro, or like sword aggro. So it is what it is to that point. But that has been, or Evo decks, it's been, I think we took 35 minutes. We actually took a long time. There were a lot of decks this week. A lot of regional qualifier lists, a lot of quality lists. So we guys have a nice day. And I will see you hopefully next week with more lists. Maybe hopefully it's not this long. Hopefully it's not this long next week, but no promises. Peace.